a very eloquent introduction and very generous in terms of introducing me. I want to thank JT for the invitation. It's such a pleasant occasion to share with you some work, so many people here, which is lovely. I think you probably heard a lot of contextual analysis over the last few days. Of the highest quality, I'm quite sure, but I'm going to spare you any. I'm just going to read poetry. So I've taken fragments of works from 7 modernist poets who have really influenced my practice and just mashed them up with my own. So you'll hear no poets' names or titles. These fragments you have shelved, shored, slut, bitch, truth and calliope slanging each other, sous les lauriers, that Alessandro was negroid, and Malatesta Sigismund, frater tamquam et competa charisime, tergo hanidi dicis entia, equivalent to Giovanni of the Medici, Florence. Letter received, and in the matter of our Mesire Genosio, one from him also, sent on inform and with all due dispatch, having added your wishes and memoranda. As to arranging peace between you and the King of Ragona, so far as I am concerned, it would give me the greatest possible pleasure. At any rate, nothing would give me more pleasure or be more acceptable to me, and I should like to be party to it, as was promised me, either as participant or adherent. As for my service money, perhaps you and your father would draw it and send it on to me as quickly as possible. And tell the Maestro de Pentore that there can be no question of his painting the walls for the moment, as the mortar is not yet dry, and it would be merely work chucked away in human luxury, writing this hidden labour around the world capital ends in electricity. The North American skull is being restructured around perfect teeth, although a quarter of the world's teeth are Chinese. Business makes profits, painting showed what people did. We have the brain specially for you. As far as possible from your feet, you really need to be a man. Painting the Fourth Bridge could be recently. Their hobby was playing as children lucently the first clock with Arabic numerals to patchy. I am getting on. I am not complaining. Some of the faces I see are interesting indeed. Take your own, for example, a fine grimace of vessels over the bone. Of course I see you backwards, covered with words, backwards from the other side. I must tackle my dreadful table and go on a hide to the seeking hill. This morning I am ready, if you are, to hear you speaking in your new language. Constriction of blood, our articulate vessel pieces together, failure of the body to keep up with the flow, the cinnamon tune of May. She carries the simple constriction of my heedless manner, redirects the vessel down with soft channels, which is her hands or hair, and she does careless things artfully. Walks across the street, footprints dressed in red, punishment trek to find the latest innocent, a way to market food to human minds that do not possess hungry bodies up in the hills with their distilleries brewing out the clean and the clear because they're bored. Well, come finally to know more of me, then that'll fall aside because I won't be able to get up to sleep. In the meantime, it's tempting to copy and paste the lyrics of Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. Don't give up, because you need that flower blood on the most modern phone's travel at an angle up, child preaching childhood, sleep introduced to interruption, the black bags before the eyes of children, the later weeks, the strain on Peter, for he is great, the great dancing hammer amidst the spray, the demented shine used to get that monster's metal car looking so heavy, solid, looking new, weighing more than a polar bear. Bluegrass to the very floor. I'm sorry you weren't better welcomed, but after all our jobs took you. Poetry is not turning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality, but an escape from personality. But of course, only those who have personality and emotions know what it means to escape from those things. Exodus lay under an oak tree bordering on Budapest. He had lain him down straight overnight under the lofty rain of starlight, having leapt from the womb 18 years ago and grown neglected along the shores of the Danube, on the Danube, in the Danube, or breaking his legs behind runaway horses with a quick carnival quirk every Shrove Tuesday. Of his riches a patriarch, erected a synagogue for the people. His son looked upon Lee of the people. She sat in the synagogue, her hair long as the Talmud, her tamarind eyes, and disinherited begat this Exodus. Imperial Austria taught the child, the German, secret patriotism, the Magyar tongue. The father stuffed him with biblical Hebrew and the seeds of science, exhorting him to vindicate his forefathers' ambitions. The child flowered precociously. Fever smote the father. Lightly the poppy petals cling, flattering to spurts of wind. Some stalks are hairy. Droplets of bitter white turn milky coffee in the spoon. In sunlight, shades and reflections gently shape themselves. Daily the ball grows dark and sticky to cinder, larger when its breath bubbles to mix with mine. The purple swanbeak of a starfish borage, blue flower, smoked brass, stroking in the ochre fur of bees, in the shadow of an echo. Dit da da dit 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 da dit da 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 dit 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 da dit da 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 dit da 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 dit da dit da dit da 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 dit dit da 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 dit da. Can you assist me to purchase it? I love you tucked away in a corner of my time, looking out at me, for me to put my arm round you to comfort you. I love you more than that as well, you know I live now in Madron with the black perched beast on the shoulder of the gable end. The first day of October's bright shadows go over the Celtic fields coming to see you. I have tucked you, I hope not too far away. But I want it to be clear that until the chapels are ready, I will arrange for him to paint something else, so that both he and I shall get as much enjoyment as possible from it. How doth fertilizer help the bomb? And thus how do I intend to help thee in thy plot to airport another more humanity for the plains painted pink, dip them into sudden valleys where the giant animals have miniaturized, and the miniature here become the land where technology is not limited by anything, and the imagination of flight is apparently a mild head cold to the viral germ warfare we ought suddenly to employ when thinking about what we might do with our future time. The end of fox hunting, the closure of steppe, fates, that golden horde of disabled will no longer be, their limbs straightened in the wound. Quick, the hand that deceives the thighs, thrush, birdlime, mellowed from ages in loam, tulips on the skin, drives to perfection struggling black hair. A vague mouth lifts to the sky, breathes deeply, evening deep, the heart acquaints with the power of the deceptive fuse. Quick, the teeth to catch the cheek. Poet in a lime of love sings, whistles, dances oh so joyously. The widowed mother took to her bosom a spouse of her own spear, and hired Exodus in apprenticeship to such as garrulously inarticulate ignore the cosmic cultures. Owl and wagtail and hua-hua, the fire fox amptra that is nectar, white wind, white dew, here from the beginning, we have been here from the beginning, from a breath where the goddess Lam and me, if we did not perform the Tao Po, nothing is solid without Muan Bo, no reality, agility, that is from the juniper. Rice grows and land is invisible by the pomegranate water in the clean air over Li Chang, the firm voice amid pine wood. Many springs are at the foot of Xiangshan. By the temple pool, Long Wan's clear discourse as jade stream. Artemisia, Arundinaria, winnowed in fate's tray neath Luna.